Today we're going to make a cocktail that I made up and probably isn't all that original, but I'm just trying to keep this thing going. I'm trying to stay active for just so I could pretend like all this padding and this camera and whatnot wasn't a waste of money. So a few months ago, or a couple months ago, however many months it's been, I was just making a few syrups just to get them made for my bar, and I got a strawberry and a raspberry. And while I was making these, I thought, well, what about, some kind of like mixed berry sour? What could I do with that? And so, well, then I just took these with, I can't remember what I used. I might have used some white rum, or maybe gin, whatever it was. It was a pretty background flavor. I think I actually just used vodka now that I think about it. It was alright, and so, but then I thought, maybe I should try to think of a step forward. So I made both of these very simply. I just took, the two fruits, strawberries in this case, and raspberries in this case, threw those into a mason jar. I took a mason jar, put it on a scale, zeroed it out, threw some fruit in there, added that same weight of sugar. Put it off to the side for a day or two. The sugar drew a bunch of moisture, pretty much all the moisture it could out of the fruit. Then I took each one individually, of course, put them into a pot with no extra added sugar. I think I maybe added just maybe a little bit, like a tablespoon, just to rinse out the jar, and then I just kind of cooked that until all the sugar was dissolved. That's a great way to make any syrup. I can't remember the name of that process, but it just pulls all the moisture out. This way you have as little water added as possible, zero, completely ideally. So that way it's not watered down, it's a pure flavor, and if it's not sweet enough, then you can always add more syrup on top of it. I took those, mixed them with some lemon juice and egg white and vodka. It tasted alright, but I thought there's a way I could do this better. And I thought maybe I should go and buy some kind of berry or blueberry flavored, or any kind of berry really flavored vodka. Then I thought, why do that when I could just make some? So I made some. How I did this, if memory serves correctly, I took 10 ounces of vodka and 15 ounces of blueberries, grew all that into a jar, let it sit for like a week, which may have even been overkill for something like this, because blueberries give up their flavors much more easily than, spices or maybe citrus peels or whatnot. But I let it sit for a while, took it, and at first I was just going to strain it off and leave it, but then I realized the berries, they really blew up because it soaked up so much water. So I took the whole thing, hit it with my immersion blender, ground that into a juice, strained that off, and now I have almost completely clear blueberry flavored vodka. And I got more than this. This is just, I threw this into this bottle because I thought it looked nice. I have like half a mason jar's worth, so hopefully I like this and I can start making this. And it's been sitting here for a while. There's no hiss, no off smells. It smells a little weird, but let's go ahead and actually give it a taste, see how blueberry-ish it is. I've been waiting to taste this for this video, and it took me a lot longer to make this than I thought. Yeah, like I said, it's completely clear, as in it's like see-through and transparent. It's obviously not colorless. It has a very nice deep blueberry color. I've seen like the Western Sun blueberry vodka, and it's got like a bluish tinge, but it doesn't look anything like this, which makes me wonder what they did to theirs or how much actual blueberry is even in it. So, well, this tastes like nothing. Like, I may have made a mistake here. I don't know. It tastes a little bad. But that could just be the fact that it's like acetone, basically, is what the cheap vodka is. I was kind of hoping to come across a better one, but I didn't. It don't really taste like blueberries. I'm going to try it with a little bit of syrup. I'm going to try another shot, but this time I'm going to add a little bit of simple and see how much that wakes it up. Yeah, if you notice in that recipe, I didn't add any sugar, so this isn't, that's why it's more like a blueberry-infused vodka. I should have probably made it into a liqueur. I thought there might be enough sugar in the blueberries. I don't know why I thought that. So let's see, adding some simple makes a difference. It's a bit better, but still nothing special, though. That was weird. It's like acetone. It's a little sweet. It almost tastes more like berry extract. I'm still gonna use it for this, but yeah, I don't know how necessary. First version I did was with an egg white. I'm kind of curious to see what it tastes like just as a more straight up sour. The other thing is I forgot to buy some lemons, and I don't think any other citrus would be super great in this. I don't think it'd be bad, but I think lemon, having that tart, you know, that's more sour punch as opposed to limes, which are a bit more tart, sort of bitter, and of course grapefruit and oranges, you know what they taste like. So I have one. I'm gonna save this for more my original version. But then I thought I have something in the fridge that might be able to help me out. So I have this, and this is a lemon cordial. I didn't invent this recipe. Jeffrey Morgenthaler, or it could be David Wondrich. No, I think it's Jeffrey Morgenthaler. He was looking to make a homemade, like a version of his own lime cordial for making gimlets. Originally they called for Rose's lime cordial or lime juice. It's changed a lot over the years, and he wants something that was fresh but also still really tart. This is what he came up with, and I basically took that recipe and replaced the limes with lemons. The actual recipe, I can't remember the measurements off the top of my head. I'll try to remember to include a link down below to the recipe. It's really just lime juice, sugar, hot water, lime zest, mixed in a blender, strained off to get all the lime zest out of there, and just took that recipe and replaced the same exact measurements with lemons. But I'm kind of curious to see what it tastes like, and conveniently doing it this way means I wouldn't have to actually shake this. So I could have gotten myself a mixing glass, but I don't own one. Let's go ahead and get started. Man, it smells really good. Let's give it a shot. Wow. Man, it tastes a lot like lemonade. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's also some citric acid in this. So it takes it beyond just a sour mash and kind of ups the punch a bit. That comes through a lot in the limes. It comes through here a bit too, but not as much, which, you know, is kind of nice. So originally I did just like 3/4 of an ounce or half an ounce of lemon juice. I think with this having some sugar and some acidity in there, I'm just gonna go with half an ounce. I'm gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of raspberry syrup. This is gonna be a really, really sweet cocktail. So I got 3/4 of an ounce of that. I have half an ounce of this. The original recipe doesn't call for this, which is why this one was probably gonna be much sweeter than usual, which maybe is good as to why I didn't add any syrup to this. Crack some ice in there. Usually you want to shake with fresh lemon juice, but this stuff isn't fresh. It's already been kind of blended together. I mean, maybe I could shake it, but I only own one shaker, so of course I'm going to be reusing this one anyways, so maybe that doesn't matter at all. Trying to keep myself clean over here. I wonder how well that's working. This one also should come out. Well, that is a pretty color, if nothing else. My goodness. It's actually kind of a neat color. I like that. I think, where's my phone? I don't have a proper rig for doing close-ups, but if you see, this is the actual cordial. Sorry. This is the actual blueberry infused vodka that I use. Very, very dark blueberry sort of color, of course. This being lightened and stretched up with all those other syrups, I don't know, I think it looks really pretty. I like the way it looks, if nothing else, but let's see how the taste is. Well, on a positive note, it is not nearly as... I was almost worried it could be sickeningly sweet. Like cloyingly, like too much, like I'm going to go into diabetic shock sweet just with essentially three different syrups and some vodka in there. But the sour from this and the fact that both strawberries and raspberries have a bit more tartness and this has no sugar, and I think like these are good. Like this isn't bad, but let's actually taste it a little bit. It's a little sour. It's still sweet. This is definitely like, if you don't like sweet cocktails, you're probably not going to like this, but it's a lot more balanced to my palate anyways than I was prepared for. Maybe it's that, maybe I overestimated it and this really is way too sweet. On the other hand though, sour, but maybe not quite enough. I think I'm definitely going to get more from the fresh lemon juice. This isn't bad at all, though, and it does kind of accomplish what I was setting out to do to make it taste like mixed berries and sour. To do it properly, honestly, I should have fresh lemon juice, but again, I don't have that much, and I'm kind of saving it for this, so my apologies there, but this is still perfectly serviceable. Let's go ahead and mix what's a bit closer to my original version. Got myself a lemon. And what I don't have is a knife. This is a bit impractical, maybe, but it's clean. Clean enough for who it's for, right? I assure you, I would never do this if I was serving in a bar. For this, I'm gonna go with a full ounce of lemon juice. Alright, so full 3/4 ounce of both the raspberry and the strawberry. I have bar towels. I should really bring some out. I should also maybe get a proper bar. Alright, now I'm going to go with the same 2 ounces of my blueberry infused vodka here. So it's definitely got plenty of sugar. I did bring some simple syrup out, but I don't think I'm going to need it. Of course, need an egg white. Now, some people will tell you got to crack on a sharp edge, and I see the intuition behind that. You want to break into the egg, so an edge is going to act a lot like a dull knife. But the truth is, you want to crack on a flat surface. I'm meant to grab a plate. I'm meant to grab a lot of things. But the reason you want to crack on a flat surface is because when you crack onto an edge, the edge is going to, not only is it going to push the shell deeper into the egg, which causes increased risk of bursting the yolk, which doesn't always matter, but hey, if you're going for separated eggs, or if you're trying to get like sunny side up eggs, it's not good. Not to mention, it creates much smaller shards, which are more likely to fall, into the egg, harder to get out. It's going to cause a break into the egg. So cracking on a flat surface is just better. It is. It's got an egg white in it, so we're going to shake. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing a white shirt, but it does have stain shield, so let's see how effective that is. Whew, that is nice and frothy, exactly what you want to see. Dry shaking is tough because the cold from mixing with ice is what actually causes these shakers to stick together. It's like how a Boston style shaker works. When you're dry shaking, you're shaking without ice, there's no cold, so it's much more likely to want to come apart on you because it's not sealing together. So you really got to hold onto it tight. My ice, I just have a cooler down here to hold my ice. It's not, which means it's getting tempered, and great, there's juice and cocktail on my wall. When your ice becomes tempered and is more adjusted to the room temperature, it's less likely to shatter and spider out, which is good for ice carving, bad when you're trying to get it to break apart. Alright. Let's chill down. Let's go ahead, strainer on there. Oh shoot. I think this might be a bit too much for this glass. Yeah, I think maybe still, there's a little bit in there, but not worried about it. I'm much more worried about overspilling and making a mess. That is a pretty looking foam on there. Yeah, look at that. Look at that contrast you got going on, the little gradation. It goes from like a much darker purplish pink all the way light into where the froth is. To be expected, but still, it's nice to see. Usually I like to garnish the tops of these with bitters and draw a little pattern there. I don't want to do that because I didn't bring any. It would probably be good with Peychaud's bitters, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a shot. I wonder if I shook too hard, because there's definitely a lot of foam on there. That could, it's probably a lot of foam because of all the extra sugar in there, causing it to have more structure. Still very sweet, but it's in the same balance as this is. Still not getting that sour punch I was looking for, but it does taste like mixed berry, which, is so combined, it's difficult to say it tastes, because I know what the 3 berry flavors are in there, but needless to say, it doesn't taste like just strawberry and raspberry. I think being mixed together, having the sweetness and the sour, does help to bring out the blueberry flavors, even if I can't tease them apart. That was good. Definitely desserty. Let me finish that. It tastes pretty fresh. I gotta be honest, I think you should give this one a shot, not just because I'm trying to, say that I invented something great. Let's try it with the stirred version without the egg white. Yeah, definitely much sweeter, actually, here. Maybe because the egg white is stretching this out and is aerating it a bit. Of the two, I prefer this. I like sweetness in my drinks. I don't like it to kill me with sweetness. And this is kind of like right on the verge of, is it too much? It's not, but it's close. If you don't like sweet cocktails, you're probably not gonna like this. But it was an experiment, and I think I did pretty okay. Once again, I understand, like, a mixed berry sour, this probably isn't, I didn't look it up, but I'm sure there's recipes for it out there. But this was my little attempt, my little approach. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I'm glad I finally got around to recording this. I think I'm just about to get back in to doing this more consistently, but I'm not gonna tempt fate. I'm also trying some adjustments. I think I finally figured out why my camera was making everything like yellow. We'll see how this one comes out. But that's enough for today. Thank you guys for stopping by.